Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today I wanted to talk about the console wars coming up. And I had a lot to say about this in the last video, so I'm just going to kind of continue talking about the console wars and who I think is going to win. So I'm going to start off with Nintendo and Xbox's prices on games here coming up. $80 for a published Xbox game and a published Nintendo game. Way too much. Way too much. Let's be straight up honest. And I've seen a lot more so Nintendo fans arguing about this. A lot of Xbox fans are quick to point out what is wrong with that, like why it's wrong to charge $80 for a video game at this point, and especially right now in this economy. I know the economy is very high right now, but still, $80, you are making plenty of profit off the game. The higher the game is, the price is, less people will buy it. But anyway, a lot of Xbox fans have been quick to point this out that they don't like this, but Nintendo fans argue against it. And I'm going to bring up a name, Nathaniel Bandy, and this guy, I watched a video of him basically meat riding Nintendo the whole time. He said, what he said was, well, it makes sense to raise the price to $80 if the DLC is included. For one, I can agree with that. Again, a lot of people do this. They buy the digital deluxe edition of a video game, which is usually around $80, $90 to $100. If they think they're going to like the game, they usually buy that version of it. But you shouldn't be forced to buy an $80 version of the game. And again, it's not going to include the DLC. That is not what they're guaranteeing. Nintendo or Xbox are not guaranteeing that. They're just saying the game's going to cost $80. That is the stupidest argument I've heard, is that DLC could be included. That is, again, a could. And again, Mario Kart World is going to have DLC come out for it. It is not going to be included with the game. Let's all be honest with ourselves. And again, I also think that the reason that they made Mario Kart World $80 is because they wanted to sell more of the Switch 2 version with Mario Kart World in it. Like, I legitimately think that is just a straight up fact. They wanted to sell more bundles to make the game seem higher sales and to push the game more and market it more like, oh, look how many people bought this game. I think that's kind of why they did it. But I don't know. I still think they're going to start charging $80 for a game. And again, $70 is still too much for a game in my opinion. Again, obviously it depends on what the game is. But like, you have games like Fortnite out right now that offer so much content. And they're free. Legitimately free to play. You don't have to spend a dime on Fortnite. You don't get any more or any less if you don't spend money gameplay-wise. You don't. Like, it's just straight up fact. And people, you could make money off Fortnite by doing nothing. You could literally make videos like I do on Fortnite. Just record yourself gameplay, post them on YouTube, and you could start making money because of Fortnite. Anyway, we're not going to talk about Fortnite. We're talking about console wars. But I do think PlayStation is going to be winning the next console war. I do. And it's because they're not raising the prices of their games. Sony has proven in this PS5 era, PS5, Xbox One area, and like Switch 2 area, that they care about what the fans say. They are pushing games that the fans didn't even think to ask for, like Astrobot. Let's be honest, Astrobot. Some people were like, "Oh wow, that was a really good deal," or a free-to-play demo for pack-in title for the PlayStation 5. A lot of people said that about Astrobot. It was a really fun game, and they just were asking for more. But, I mean, not everybody played Astrobot. It wasn't a huge, massive thing. But Astrobot comes out, and it's a beautifully crafted game. And it's so fun to play through. And it's just a gorgeous game, and it's fun. And, again, nobody would even thought to ask for that game. Nobody even thought that game would have been that much fun, that successful, really. Because Astrobot was a super successful game. And Sony's just been producing good game after good game after good game after good game in this generation. They really have. And again, I'm not like a Sony fanboy. I'm a Nintendo fanboy. But Nintendo, I can't support them here lately. You can't. As a Nintendo fan, a person whose favorite console is the Wii and the 3DS, literally, I can't support them. I legitimately can't. Because of how high their prices are on video games. Again, as the video game industry, we have to tell these companies we are not willing to pay these prices. But yet, the Nintendo Switch 2 sells 3 million consoles day one. Day one. And Nintendo knew this was going to happen. They were prepared. Stores were stocked with the Nintendo Switch 2. People were ready for it. Nintendo was ready for this. They knew that we had so many empty threats. They knew their Nintendo fanboys were going to come through and buy a crap ton of consoles. And again, this is what happened with the Wii U. This is what happened with the GameCube. It sold super well at launch, and then sales fizzled down, which I do think will happen to the Nintendo Switch 2 a little bit. But during Christmas time, the Nintendo Switch 2 is a very highly wanted console. Let's be straight up honest. This Nintendo Switch 2 looks like one of the coolest consoles that may ever come out. Like, it is super cool. The things that Nintendo did with it are very cool. And I do think the system itself is worth $500. I will argue that a lot. I will heavily argue that. But the games, not a chance. And this is also including Xbox. And I'll talk more about Xbox, what they're doing wrong, because they ain't doing much right at all right now. But definitely less right now Nintendo, because again, Nintendo, they do make great games. They do. They make great games. They have a great console, and they have this very loyal fan base. Like, can do a whole lot of things. But again, these $80 game prices or $70 games for re-releases, when the game doesn't look too graphically different, let's be straight up honest here, that's a little absurd. And the fact that Nintendo was one of the only people, which I support them in this way, that the disc or that the chips that you get the game on actually have the game in them, that you actually own it, is kind of going away now. And then they're switching over to where it's just a game key. Which, again, I can't remember what that gaming push is. If you do remember, please leave in the comments where it's like, don't let video games die. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. I'm literally blanking at the moment. Go support that, though. If you know it, leave the link in the comments or tell me what it is in the comments, because that needs to be supported. We need to keep physical games a thing, and we need to actually, whatever we buy, we need to own. It is going to become a problem, and the video game industry, I don't like the way it's going. Not one bit. And that's also with PlayStation. PlayStation definitely pushes digital games more than physical games. Let's be straight up honest here, folks. Let's be straight up honest here. But now we're going to go to Xbox. And Xbox is doing so much wrong right now. They can't produce a good video game. They can't. Let's be honest. They haven't made a good video game in a long time. Because the Xbox wants to find the trend of the time and then go off that and try to make that their identity for the game. And they're so late because their projects are so big. They make these mad games, but then they produce like Halo Infinite, which is a horrible game that wants to make microtransactions a normal thing. These also companies who realize if you make a good game, people will probably buy more into it. Like DLC, like I was saying. If you love the game, you will probably buy the DLC for it. Let's be honest. Like, I just don't understand. That's what Fortnite does. People really get addicted and start loving the game. They start buying cosmetics for it. That is why Fortnite's successful, because, again, they just have a good game. You don't need to worry about people trying to make all these microtransactions instantly. It will come with time, because your game is good. People will stay hooked on it. People will keep playing it. And then they'll make the microtransactions. But you can't just force it to happen and expect it to be successful. I also don't like how that's the way that video game industry is going that way as well. So yeah. I do believe that Sony's going to win this because they're kind of the least worst out of all three of the companies lately. Again, Nintendo's got a great console, great games, too high of prices. Xbox, they just ain't doing anything right. They have high game prices right now. Nobody wants an Xbox. They don't know how to make a good game. Xbox is just not doing very good right now. And again, Xbox, I do, for example, I do prefer their controller. I do think their controller is way more durable than the Sony controller. I've had 3 Sony controllers. Only one works right now. One has horrible stick drift. The other is just wonky as heck. First of all, it's this black controller. It's somewhere. It's probably packed up for college already. It's probably already in its like carrying case and everything. But that controller, the back buttons, like these buttons right here, didn't work. They didn't work at all. Oh, sorry. And then I smacked it, and then those only worked, and then this side of the controller just didn't work. And then I smacked it super hard on the ground because I got mad because I was trying to play a game, and it just stopped working. Like, it was like a simple game. It stopped working, I smacked it, and now it works fine. Nothing is wrong with it. So I don't even know what the heck is going on with that. And I'm very careful with these controllers. These are $70. These are more. These are the same price as video games now. These are the same price as a full-fledged video game now. Let's think about that for a second. Controllers are the same price as a full-fledged video game today. That is horrible to think about. Let's be straight up honest. That is horrible to think about. Oh my gosh. I gotta end this right now. But I do think Sony's gonna win just because they are again, they were producing a lot of great games. They haven't said they're going to increase their game prices yet, which I hope stays true. Please, Sony, don't do it. And the PS5 is a great console. They have done a lot of great with it, and yeah. So yeah, that's really about it. Yeah, console wars. Sony probably gonna win. Just objectively looking at it, Sony's probably gonna win. So anyway, that's about it for this video. And as always, have a great day.